Hey guys, Matt here from Underground Experience, and today I'm interviewing Bluefield. I got Cameron, Gage, and Matt. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good. How about you, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. New hair, so that's cool. And maybe mine will get as long as yours guys soon. I would appreciate that. But yeah, let's dive right into this. So,
Sure.
how would you describe the sound of Bluefield to someone who's never listened to your music?
You want to go first?
Oh man, I would say it's very classically influenced. We're all like kind of flash from the past, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. I know we'll get into inspirations later, but I would say you mix that with some like psychedelic influence. It's definitely like there's a huge psych scene coming back. Australia and California have that.
Oh,
and that's
for sure.
really what the sound is moving around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I do know. That's crazy. It's kind of like it's almost like the 60s all over again. It's kind of really cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we take a lot of like if you want to describe our sound, kind of we have a lot of different inspirations and like things that we're into separately, and then the writing process we write a lot together, so we kind of get this like
Mesh.
this
you make
mesh
the
of
orb.
music.
Yeah, the orb is very
sounds,
important.
So.
That's what it's all about. I've interviewed a lot of different bands, and it's always cool to see variants in different genres that people like, and then that combining all together to make this new product is really cool, and it really provides like something fresh for everything. So it's really cool. So my next question is your album, The Environment. What are some of your favorite songs on that album that you guys have put out?
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah,
that's really
it's like
hard.
choosing a favorite child. I always say that, but like
it's hard to say a favorite one. I would say everybody kind of put their different touches. There's little gems inside each song.
Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe take us through that.
I don't know. One of my big things is in Sour Flower, which is one of the earlier songs on the album, but it breaks into this big like the whole time it's just electric piano, but then it goes into this big organ with the hall reverb, and it's dun 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 dun. It's just it's really good. That's probably one of my big ones.
That's really cool.
I think I'm gonna go with either Slurp or Sulfur Queen because those songs just hit home. I don't know what it is. Bass lines and drum lines both amaze me. I love that one.
Sometimes we don't know how things get made. We just kind of we just make it.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's how it happens sometimes. You just don't know, but it sounds good. That's all that matters.
Part of the sound. There's a lot of improv that goes on. So
yes,
sometimes things happen, and you're like, I don't even know how to do that again.
It's just there.
So kind of take me through that. Take me through that. What is the improv kind of like? Is it like you guys are together just jamming and you hear something, and you're like, whoa, that was really cool. Let's incorporate that into a song. Or is it more when you're actually performing it live? Or are you doing jamming in the sense that each time it's different, kind of like the Grateful Dead or maybe the Allman Brothers or other jam band like that?
Exactly that, man.
Okay.
We've been like playing together for a long time, so we kind of say we hear each other before, like we don't have to say anything. Like we know what each other's about to do before it happens, so we can play the song to the record, or we know, they didn't play that the same. Go into the groove, and then everybody jams on that part for a while. That's definitely always available live. I think that's not going to make it on the radio, but who cares?
Yeah, I totally get it. As someone who loves live music and loves the Grateful Dead and other bands like that who improv live, and I makes every concert so special, and everyone has a unique take on it, like a unique perspective on it, and it's really interesting to see that. So I love that you guys are doing that, because I don't think there's enough of that in the modern music scene right now.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
We have this fun like ritual that we do before every show where we'll look at our set and then we'll be like, okay, we're going to choose one song and we're going to have like a super long jam session. And we don't know how it's going to happen, or we don't know what necessarily is going to happen, where we just decide like, okay, this song, when we get to it, let's just do a jam. Almost always is really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love when you forget what song you're listening to, and then
and then
we're still here. And then, I love that experience. So that's cool that you're bringing that back. And I really appreciate that. Because as someone who just loves jam music, it's really cool to see that there's more. The scene isn't dead. It's
absolutely
it's coming back now. It's coming back.
Exactly. So my next question is, what are some of your biggest like inspirations as far as bands, artists, even songs go, as far as The Environment and also the next album you're working on?
I guess I'll go first. For inspirations, it kind of is very wide, but like we take a lot of inspiration from a lot of modern bands, but also a lot of old bands like you mentioned before. I think the big ones, at least for me, are like Pink Floyd, Grateful Dead, Hendrix, and then some of the modern bands, like of course King Gizzard or anything out of Australia.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything out of Australia.
Yeah, man. Like it goes big like that. Like Led Zeppelin's my favorite band, but the Australian scene's like psychedelic porn crumpet stuff like that.
Yeah.
But some of my like vocal roots come from like I didn't even know what rock was a while back. So I had musical theater stuff. There's blues roots. There's stuff like that. But like Jeff Buckley's a huge vocal influence. I don't know. Yeah, Robert Plant, that kind of thing. But it's not like Greta Van Fleet situation. Never.
Yeah, of course not. I would. Yeah, definitely not. That's pretty funny.
Similar.
Yeah, for sure. This boy is funky.
Yeah.
I am funky. I mean, of the classic inspirations, it's probably about the same, like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Jimi Hendrix. But for the more modern, I'm on a different spectrum than you guys, just a little bit. I like. I mean, I don't know. Did you mention Mother's Cake?
No, but they're a huge Spanish psychedelic rock band.
Yeah.
They're important.
Take a lot of inspiration from them and Truck Fighters and
That's cool.
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
That's really cool. I like I really noticed that kind of theatrical voice and the vocals from that in I forgot what song it was, but I was listening to one. I was like, wow, this almost sounds like the music doesn't sound like it's part of a theatrical production, but like the singing does. Like it's just so dramatic and like it's not a bad thing at all. It's a great thing.
Thank you.
It's really cool. It's really cool.
At least you can hear the influence. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys are putting out a new album soon. And as far as we're aware, there was some controversy and some issues going on about the production of this album. So if you want to go into that and kind of elaborate on that, I'd love that.
I'll let one of y'all take that. You want to take it around?
Okay, so let's say we had a manager and it was just a friend in the scene. The Denton music scene's wild right now. But it's someone
we'll get into that.
Yeah, for sure. But it's someone we met in the scene, and there were lots of promises that were made, and we had expected to have the album paid for, and many other things paid for, and merch and stuff. But we realized we couldn't depend upon that. She dropped out. It didn't work out. That was a big old mess. I'll say that. That's some controversy for sure. We had a lot of anger, but not dropping any names. But I'll say in the end, our fans made it happen.
Yes.
Like
thank you all.
Spotify, you the streams, they don't matter at all. We put up that GoFundMe and it wasn't like, oh, please help me, because I hate the like begging. Like that's not what we tried to do. This is a last resort. And we were like, I mean, if you guys want it to happen, make it happen. And they made it happen. We're at like 90% of our GoFundMe today.
That's amazing. That's really cool.
We also have a huge opportunity. You can take that away with Wand. And that's what this whole GoFundMe thing is also about.
Yeah, so to give a little bit of backstory, I don't know if you're familiar with the band Wand, but they're an LA psych band, and they've been one of my favorite bands, at least for a long time. But I saw that Corey Hansen, the main guy of Wand, was like, oh, I'll master your album, like if anyone has an album they want mastered. And I was like, absolutely. So I hit him up and was like, what can we work on? And he said he'd be willing to master our album. So at the end of this, now that we're kind of getting towards the end of it, we'll be able to send it to him and get his kind of like whole master process on it.
Because he's already in the genre.
Yeah, now
he already has the fans. So if we just stamp his name on it.
That's really cool. I had no idea about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool story. And no matter where you go from now, you'll be able to you have backing by your fans, and that's a really good feeling. I imagine.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Would never expect it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just that's an amazing thing. That's a really cool story, and I mean, that's something only really that could happen to a small band with being dropped out from your manager label or that kind of thing. It happens, but it isn't as devastating as it is when it happens to a smaller band who doesn't really have the economic and prestige to really go from there. So the fact that you guys were able to make that happen is really amazing. And I think it's really cool. I'm really looking forward to this next album. So if you want to go into that and kind of, if you want to elaborate on that a little bit, I'd love to know more about this new album.
So we can't give you too much information on the story because
I could, but I'm gonna try and hold my tongue.
We kind of want everyone to kind of get their own opinion on the story. But
of course.
I say it's definitely a concept album. there's definitely a theme and a
Concept
story
album.
that translates throughout the whole album. And there's
every icon on the cover is
Yeah.
a song. Like it's like there's locations and people.
Yeah,
That's
so
so cool.
yeah, so the whole album takes place in this world, and I don't want to say too much, at least until the album comes out. But yeah, it's pretty deep. There's some good
Grungy,
stuff.
it's psychedelic. There's like Zappa style, like spoken word
Ooh.
happening. There's, I mean, really heavy modern stuff. You could say it's rooted in classic, but then you listen to it. Oh no, the low end is too powerful.
Yeah.
It's very modern, I will say.
Honestly, we're giving your ears a lot to hear.
Yeah.
This time
There's a lot to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
From 808 bass drops to like full string sections. So
Yeah.
it's got a good.
That's awesome. I absolutely adore concept albums because I love storytelling, and
Yeah.
one of the things I do is I write stories a lot. So to incorporate that into music is just so cool to me. It's the coolest thing, actually. I don't think there's anything cooler, honestly.
The album is called The Crimson Crabs. I don't know if I put that down.
Yes, the Crimson Crabs. Everyone look forward to this album because I have a feeling it's going to be really good, and I think it's going to tell a really cool story.
I mean, honestly, we could write a fucking book about it.
Yeah.
It's political.
Yeah, Game Engine list, if you know what that is.
Slightly political, I'll tell you that.
Okay, that's cool too. That's cool too. I love that. That's really cool.
For sure, man.
Yeah. So my next question is going to be, what are some of, if any, meanings behind the songs that you've already put out? Is there any kind of lyrics you want to touch on, or maybe a story you were trying to evoke that maybe people wouldn't know if they didn't hear the meaning of it?
So there's a couple different ones. You mentioned Sulfur Queen. There's stuff like, but any song you listen to, there's going to be a common theme of duality. There's a good, a bad, but not always good and bad. Things are both sides. You know what I'm saying? There's two sides to everything. So you'll hear one like sweet, one sour. The whole thing is sour flower, something pretty and something sour.
That's a really cool juxtaposition.
Go ahead with Sulfur Queen, because that's a story right there.
Yeah, so Sulfur Queen kind of has an interesting story. So that name Sulfur Queen is the name of an old like boat from like a couple hundred years ago or whatever that would transport like sulfur, but it was the last boat to ever be made at this one specific place that they like made boats at or whatever. And then it went out into like to go make a delivery, and then it just never came back. It disappeared. Like nobody knows what
Crazy.
happened.
I never heard of that. That's pretty cool.
That name originally was the name of the band that me and Cam were in together, like in high school.
Yeah.
And then, it never really worked out.
Might as well make it a song.
Yeah, we couldn't really figure out what was going on with it. So the band ended up breaking up. But then we made this song in this band. And it kind of has themes of like patience and like waiting for,
like the return that does not happen.
Yeah.
It's also kind of like a song for that legacy a little bit.
Yeah,
like that high
absolutely.
school band experience,
Yeah, for sure. Like that goes deep as that. And there are songs like Shag, that's an 8-minute song about fucking. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. Gotta keep it simple sometimes.
Hey, sometimes it's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
That's a good, I like that. That's nice. That's really cool. So my next question is, what is the Denton or Texas scene like with small bands coming out of it?
Plano sucks.
Yeah, Plano sucks. Like north of Dallas sucks. But we moved like a little bit like west towards Denton.
Like
and it's
7
really
months ago?
cool. Yeah, so we're just right outside of UNT, which is like a pretty big music school. And everyone we've met here has been super cool outside of our manager that dropped us. But everyone else
there
has
are
been
reason
really cool.
Our fans are the only, like in Plano, we released music and it got a kind of international, some pull. We got a decent amount of followers or whatever, but those aren't like, I don't want to say money spending, but those aren't the fans that are dedicated that want to like buy your merch and buy, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't anything.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But the second we moved to Denton, we started like getting like real fans. Like we would go somewhere and people are like, that's Blue Field. They're playing tonight.
People
like,
are
like
excited.
people who follow you around.
So the Denton scene's definitely blowing up.
It's really cool.
It's way better now.
And a lot of super good bands are coming out of it too, which is really nice.
We should make like a band shout out. Like,
yes.
Honestly.
You could do it if you wanted to.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. Yeah. Well, I think that wraps up our interview. Guys, thank you so much for being with me. I really appreciate it. Yes, I really appreciate you guys being here. Everyone go check out Blue Field. The Environment is a great album. and follow their Instagram and all their socials, because they're coming out with this concept album. It's going to be crazy. And maybe we'll have that back on here. But
They're releasing singles yet?
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
yes.
You want to debut the singles? We're gonna have 2 singles first.
okay, sure.
Hell yeah.
I will. I'd love to do that. That's awesome. Anyways, guys, that wraps everything up. So make sure you give us a follow, maybe subscribe if you want to hear more about underground bands. And let's bring rock back. I mean, let's do it. Anyways, see you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.